Hey guys, today I want to talk about instances in Plasticity, a feature that was introduced in one of the recent updates. I'll show you how I create and use instances in my projects to work more efficiently and speed up my workflow. To work with instances in Plasticity, you only need to know two commands, which is create instances and realize instances. You can make a shortcut for them if you want. I just added them to my quick favorites here because I don't use them that often, and I will tell you why shortly. Let's create a simple cube. We can make an instance of this cube using mirror tool. Recently a new slider has been added, make instances. We can toggle it on, and now this cube is referencing this one. So every changes I apply to the original are transferring to this instance. You can duplicate it and it will still work. You can create instances using this command. In that case, it will create it in the same place. Now you can move it around where you need, and it works the same. When you are finished with your instances, or you want to make them unique at some point, you just select the instance one or several that you want, and you click realize instances. And now they are just meshes, just unique meshes, unlinked from this cube. And you can no longer reapply that instance link again. So once you realize them, they are basically on their own. Also, you can create instances using arrays. There is also this slider that can make instances of all your created copies, and I'll talk about it later. That's a really cool feature. Now let's talk about why I try to avoid using instance on a single object. Let's imagine we have a cube and we mirror it, make an instance. By the way, you can tell that it's an instance by its wireframe color. It's a bit grayish than usual dark black, and also the icon is different from usual meshes. Okay, let's imagine we start working on our model, applying certain commands, and maybe at some point we want to make a cut. So now we have two parts of our mesh, and when we look at our instance mirror, it's broken because we created an instance from a single object. Probably it's referencing its unique name. And now, as we have another body added to the scene, it doesn't have a link. So when you work with something and you create an instance from a single object, it's very easy to mess it up at some point. So I rarely work like that. And what I think is a better way of doing this is working with instance folders. What I mean is, let's repeat the situation. For example, we want to create some object and we want to mirror it and work with it as an instance. So what I do, I put this mesh in the folder, I press Ctrl G in the outliner, and now I have this in a group. Then I press F and create an instance from this folder. Now I have this folder instanced. If I want it to be mirrored, I just select this instance, mirror it the usual way, and delete the one that was created in the same place first. Now it's a mirrored instance, but it's in the folder. I will make this folder active by double-clicking it. And what it does is whenever I add a new object in the scene, it will add this object in this folder. And because that's an instance, they will be copied automatically. So I'm creating a new body, they are added to this folder and immediately transferred on the other half, because I'm mirroring the whole group. Whenever I'm making changes to any object in this group, they are repeated. And let's make a cut the same way we did in the beginning. We make a cut. Oops. We have two objects, but now nothing is broken, because it's just another box in our folder that's being copied. We can take this folder, we can copy it, we can scale it, we can rotate it. The link is still there, and it's work like magic. And I think that's the way people should work with instances. It's much more powerful, not only because it's working, but because we can create hierarchy of things. For example, we can take our folder, we can create a new folder. A new folder outside our instance folder. And we can put this original folder plus instance in this new folder. So basically now we have a superior folder that contains original body, mirroring half, and we have it all in a new folder, which is this. Let's call this original folder A and superior folder B, which contains two halves. So now we can create an instance from the folder B, for example, and place it somewhere else. Maybe I want something like this. Maybe I'm creating a spaceship and I want to place the same engines all over my spaceship. I created a mirror from this folder. You can see we have two instances of this set. So now when I make changes to this one half, they are applied here, and then the same thing are transferring further. And we can do it indefinitely. We can put all of this in another folder, name it spaceship, copy it as an instance again, fill the whole spaceport, and whenever we make changes to that original first half, it will apply it to every copies. And I think that's the real power of instances. Let's look at the few examples from my own projects. As you can see, the entire design is symmetrical. So I have a symmetry group here, which is mirroring everything inside it. And in case I want to place, for example, something in the middle and I don't want to split it because there will be two objects overlapping, I created a non-symmetrical folder. For example, here you can see these are objects that are already unique and they are placed in the center, so I don't want them to be overlapping each other, or I don't want to split them in half or something. And I have this symmetry folder active, so whenever I make changes or add new object to the scene, I just don't worry it will be lost, because I know it will be transferred to the other half. So as you can see, no matter how complex your projects can be, this link, instant link, is never lags or cause me any problems. I just work on my half of the design and I can preview the results in real time. And in the end, when I'm finished, all I need to do is take my half, realize it. It can take a while depending on how much objects inside this group. And once it's realized, all I need to do is go through the middle and connect the pieces that should be connected. That's all I need to do once the project is finished. And that's another project where I not only used the instances to mirror the whole design like in the previous one, but I also used hierarchy here. As you can see, I have a missile body which has a few subfolders. One of them is I have unique shapes. For example, I'm finished with this head and I don't want to touch it anymore. So this is unique. Then I have 1/4 of a missile that is repeated 4 times using the center axis. And I also have this portion, which is only mirrored once because the bottom and the top are different because it has a connector at the top. So all this in one missile. Then I created an instance from this missile and placed it to the left to another hard point. And then I put those 2 missiles as a set in another folder and I mirrored them to the other half. So whenever I make changes to 1/4 of a missile, it gets copied here, here. So basically everything is linked, and it's really easy to preview the changes in real time when you established your hierarchy in the right way. Let's try and recreate this example in real time. Let's imagine I have a block out of the missile here. And I know that this missile is symmetrical on 2 axes. So what I can do is I can split it in half, then split it in half again to have 1/4. Then I put this mesh in a group, make it active. I'll name it A. And then I create an instance from this group. Now it's always will spawn in the same place. I select this instance, I mirror it here, then I select those two instances and mirror them again. And I don't need that first instance because that's a place for the original body. Let's test it. It works. So now I have an original group and 3 copies. Now I select this group A, press Ctrl G again. So this original group now in folder B. I place other copies here as well. So now this whole set is group B. Then I select this B group, create an instance again, and I move it to another hardpoint. Then again, I click on group B, Ctrl J, and I name it C. Place everything inside. So now this group C is a set of 2 missiles. And I want to transfer it to the other half. And I want it to be an instance. So I select this P group, create an instance, have it selected, mirror it, and delete the one that was created first in the same place. Now I established this hierarchy again, as we talked about. And because I have this A group activated, if I add something like fins inside this group, they are transferred further up using this hierarchy we established. So it's really easy to design, model, and preview your changes in real time. I can make cuts, apply booleans, and just work really efficiently. One thing I forgot to mention is when you create these instances, in order for them to not to interfere, you can just lock all of them so you can't accidentally select them while you work on the original and make less mistakes. Also, I think what would be even better if we created this original missiles somewhere here, or where it's convenient for us, and then when we created our whole missile folder, place it here at the hard point. Because if I'm still not sure about the design, or I got a feedback that I need to move this hard point somewhere, when I use this instance folder, I can do it without any issues. But if I want to move the original, I think I can do it, because if I move this half, everything is getting broken, because it's referencing this center point. So if I had this missile somewhere else and used 2 instances here of this missile, I think I would be even more flexible. That's just a thing for me to remember for the future projects. Let's try using this technique again, applying array modifiers. So here I have my track piece. I modeled half of it. I mirrored it. So now I have original half plus mirrored instance. What I will do next, I will place this track piece again to create a group containing 2 halves. Name it wherever you want. Place everything inside. And now I will create an instance from this group that will contain 2 halves. I will place it somewhere on the track blockout. I can move it aside. I need to make sure that pivot point in the center. And now I can apply curve array. First, I need to create a curve from this blockout. I will select the whole edge loop. Press Shift D. Okay, I have this issue because I have this track piece now active. I will switch to track blockout, create my spline, then change active folder again. Okay, where's my spline? I think I deleted it. Let's create it again. And let's try using curve array using this spline. I moved my cursor wheel to increase the numbers. Looks a bit weird here. Let's try just the original. Maybe I'll make this link piece shorter, like this. I can move it. Yeah, that looks better. As you can see, because I created an array using my instance piece, I now have a control right here where I have my 1/2, and I can apply changes to it and preview how my design is changing in real time. Because that's folder that I could add new pieces. I can switch to material preview. I can try different materials. And again, work very efficiently. And once I'm done, all I need to do is release these instances. And usually you have a pair of this, or even more if you work on something science fictional. You need to Again, create a new folder, place all of these pieces inside that folder, and just repeat that thing again. Create an instance, mirror, copy, and have an awesome control of your model. If you enjoyed this tutorial and would like to support me, you can purchase a time-lapse video from my store when I create a wheel design using similar instance-based techniques. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching and take care.